Thank you for tuning in to MacroView Television, and welcome to another brand new edition of the Taiwan Outlook, the program that lets you see the different faces and hear the different voices of Taiwan. I'm your host, Ray Guo. Have you ever played with a hand puppet when you were little? And have you enjoyed hand puppet shows when they were available when you were little? On today's program, we're delighted to have Dr. Rex Yu, who's trained to be a resource economist, but actually became a renowned collector of Taiwanese hand puppets in Taiwan. Welcome to the program, Dr. Yu.
Thank you very much to invite me to be here. I'm very, very honored to be here.
Yes. As I said at the beginning, Dr. Yu, you were trained as a resource economist, and you went to school, got your PhD at the Michigan State University. How did you first develop an interest in the collection of Taiwanese hand puppets? As we can see, we'll have quite a few here in our studio today.
Actually, I developed my interest in hand puppet show in very, very early in my childhood.
Okay.
And my father led me to appreciation of the non-hand puppet show. Mm-hmm. And when I was a child, I will, particularly during my elementary year, mm-hmm. and I always follow my father mm-hmm. to the puppet show, which performed in front of the temple
yes.
at the courtyard.
Yes.
And we enjoy very much the father and son relation.
Yes.
And then we, at that time, at first, I don't understand that much in that age. I know I'm fascinated by the beauty of the puppets and also the stunt okay. and the fighting thing okay. at the stage.
Okay.
I don't really into the, drama itself. The play, the meaning, the story okay. is not much to me. Mm. But every time I watch a show, I'm so lucky. My father, sometimes we had to walk about an hour or even
longer.
Half an hour, longer time, and then to watch a show at the village, okay. A temple. Mm-hmm. And then on the way home, after finish watching the show, okay. and my father always explained to me what is the real story in the play, okay. and also the different character. Right. And I began to understand much more and more. Okay. And even myself, when I grow up to fifth grade, okay. I even make my own puppets.
Really?
Yeah, and with the paper and old clothes, okay. and perform that in my backyard of my house, and then show to the children, my cousin, and also the small children from the village, and I enjoy it very much. And okay. from that time, actually, I developed my interest in puppet show very early age.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I think a lot of people probably will find it a little ironic because it was your father who took you to all these puppet plays and introduced you to the puppet art in Taiwan, because a lot of parents would say that, hey, don't spend a lot of time on the puppets because you should be studying the books, you should be preparing for schoolwork. I mean, you must have a father with a very forward-looking, a very progressive-looking, and also a very important emphasis on the indigenous Taiwanese culture. Was that really something that got you attracted into the Taiwanese hand puppets?
Yes, that's a very important part of how I become interested in puppet show.
Exactly.
But more important is that my relation with my father
was very close
because of that show. Oh, we watched show okay. together. I wish that today that father and son would do that the same way, okay. so that I have a better father and son relation. Okay. And actually, I can say that is the best time of my life. Okay. For childhood, and together with my father, appreciate the traditional hand puppet show.
Okay. Yeah. After you became interested in Taiwanese hand puppets, of course, you also did very well in school, that Dr. Yu, that you studied land economics in college, and later on got your PhD, as I said, from Michigan State University in resource economics. Did you find it somewhat contradictory to be a trained economist on the one hand, and also a collector of Taiwanese hand puppets on the other?
Actually, I'm very fond of the art.
Okay.
See, almost my second life.
Okay, good.
And study economics is boring, actually.
But you've done it very well.
It's okay. But I think that from very big, even in high school, I'm very fond of the art. So I joined the art club in the high school. I graduated from a very famous high school, Chengkong High School.
Oh, yes.
In early days, Chengkong is just
one of the best.
One of the best.
Yes.
I would say that compared to Kenguo High School, would be the same.
Yes.
And because of the art, actually, I continue to pursue my interest in hand puppets.
Okay.
I don't not able to see the show with my father because I was far away to study at the capital city.
That's right.
So never together to watch a show together. But I personally still interested. Every time I see the puppet show, I want to remind myself with the relation with my father.
That's very nice. Yeah. Yes, we can see today, Dr. Yu, you brought with you 4, very good size, hand puppets. Can you tell me who they are? One of them I recognize, I think, is Shi Yanwen. And how about the other 3?
This is the Zhou Yu. Zhou Yu is a very famous personality in the Three
Kingdoms.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And it is almost like a prime minister or to the Sun Quan.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is the character that at the end of the Ban Xian, the Ban Xian means that the worship of the god at the beginning of the show.
Okay.
And the end is that. I should bring another part, but I didn't. It's a couple happy ending.
Okay.
I'm very sorry to forget to bring the lady to come with.
No, it's okay. And how about the 4th one?
This one,
yes.
That one is only one character. It's like a saint, in the Jingguang, golden light period time.
All right, okay.
That special life hand puppet performance style.
Okay,
yeah.
But that would be a fictional character, not something historical.
No.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. And how many have you collected, hand puppets?
Up to date, I collect about close to 200.
Close to 200.
Including all 4 categories.
Okay. 4 categories will be which 4? Okay,
one is a traditional.
Traditional.
Like this is a traditional, which is a size about 1 foot, say 30 centimeter.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the other one is a golden light style.
Golden light. Okay.
That's the golden light style.
All right.
And this is Suyanwen style.
Okay.
And the one I didn't bring along is about 90 centimeter. It's 3 feet high. Okay. It's right now it's the most popular in TV hand puppet show program.
All right.
It's a PD.
Oh, PD. Okay. Yeah. All right. And
I didn't bring that along. It's a very tall, 3 feet long.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when did you first start, collecting these hand puppets?
That has something to do with my memory of my father.
Okay.
My father passed away when he was 97. In 1994.
Okay.
And a year later, I feel myself, what is the best way to remember my father? I was away all the time when he getting old. I regret myself. When father getting old, I didn't stand by with him.
Okay.
I was in United States.
Okay.
It's 43 years since then.
Okay.
Today.
Okay.
And I feel very sad about it. So a year later, I start to collect.
Okay. And
regularly.
Okay.
Yeah, I have some puppets, but not many.
Okay.
But,
okay. Among the almost 200 hand puppets available, do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite puppet?
Yes, I have I have 20 puppets which about maybe 60 years old.
Okay.
I got from an antique dealer.
Oh,
and those are my favorite. But it's old, so turned out. It's clothes sometimes broken, face sometimes has spots and those things. But I don't mind. It's a historical records.
Okay.
And that's my favorite.
All right.
But for the build, but in terms of particular, I think the old hand puppet has itself built attraction to people. Like for instance, traditional. You look at their face and embroidery.
Yes.
They all handcuff and the cap. They all handmade.
Yes.
And that is very treasurable.
Okay.
It's treasurable to everybody, even for every collector.
Okay.
And nice to watch by everybody.
Okay.
And now the PD style, and it's even involved modern custom design, and also hairdo, hairdressing, and hand design.
Okay.
All has unique characters.
Okay. All right.
So I think if you had to say what is my favorite. That only that group of hand puppets is my favorite.
Okay.
But actually, I like every one of them.
For the 200 puppets, hand puppets that you have, do you have them on display someplace at your home, or any museum? Do you put them on display?
Yes, when I build up my collection, I feel that if I let the puppet lay in the box, storage in my garage, that doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
So I start to circulate them and in this way, exhibition.
Okay.
And that way I do to have other people to sharing my collection. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Yu, for giving us a background regarding hand puppets and how you got interested in collecting them in the first place. It's certainly been very enlightening for all of us. And we're going to take a short break on our program, and when we come back, we will continue our conversation with Dr. Rex Yu, who is a well-known collector of Taiwanese hand puppets, and he's going to talk to us about some of the other things some of the other stories behind these hand puppets. I'll see you in just a few minutes. Welcome back to the second segment of today's program here on the Taiwan Outlook. I'm your host, Wu Ruiguo. We will continue our conversation with Dr. Rex Yu, who is trained as a resource economist, but has become a very well-known collector of Taiwanese hand puppets. Dr. Yu, you brought with you 4 hand puppets today, and you're going to tell us a little bit about how the puppets are made, and also their composition of different cloth, and also the drawing and things. And go ahead, you're gonna tell us a little bit about this one here you have on the table.
Okay, let me demonstrate a little bit about this. See, when you raise up the hand puppet, and you have 2 fingers, this finger. How to say this finger?
Yes, index.
Index finger inside the head, and with other spread out.
All right.
That hand puppet.
Okay.
And then you look at the face; it's a whole hand painted, and this hand puppet, particularly, eye can move.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is Qinghuang style.
All right.
And they designed the puppet a little bit disproportion with the body, our natural body proportion.
Okay.
Because head is bigger and hand is smaller.
Yes. All right.
They have meaning.
Okay.
Right. It's because your hand is only that big. If you make this proportion to the head, the body could be too big. Right. And it's very hard to reach by 2 hands.
Okay.
So that the bigger one has special device inside when they go up. Yeah. Okay. And then what's inside the body? Inside the clothes.
Okay.
Okay, let me take this drop.
Okay.
The hand puppets.
Take your time.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
All right. And these are the...
This is the body
inside.
Called the puppet body.
All right.
And
okay.
with the sacks or globes. Sometimes the hand puppet is called the globe puppet.
All right.
Yeah, that's because you have a globe here. And this connect 2 hands and also the leg. And then this attached to a head. So why they call the puppet show, the closed puppet, closed pocket show.
All right.
Okay, it referred to in the early days when the puppeteer performed from one place to another in the village.
Yes.
And they carry it. So we had the paper, the closed pocket to keep the puppet inside the closed pocket and carry around from one place to another to perform the show.
Okay.
That's one way they're saying. The other way is saying that it's the body. This is like a closed pocket.
All right.
Yeah, it's a globe.
All right.
And the open bottle, and they one time refer to this part. And then when they refer, when you look at the hand puppet show, you have the stage, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm talking about the traditional one.
All right.
And then it's about 5 feet, wide and 3 feet in about 2.5 depth.
Okay.
And that's in that show. And under the stage, under very elaborate carved and gold leaf stage, they have a skirt. Skirts look like a closed pocket. So they talk about that is the closed pocket. And the first one they talk about the closed pocket is talk about the one after performance and then puppet off the stage where they put a storage under the pocket, under the stage, that closed pocket. So they think about these 4 things at the closed pocket.
Okay.
So they call closed pocket a show.
Okay.
But I don't know really which one is they refer to.
Okay, all right, okay. But we also know that, Dr. Yu, you not only have a huge collection of Taiwanese hand puppets, you also study the Taiwan hand puppet shows. Can you tell us how did the Taiwan hand puppet shows originate from? Okay,
the actually is from China, and when they developed this hand puppet, some say it's 1600, or some say that's the Ming Dynasty, and some say even earlier in Song Dynasty, 1200, and sometimes like that. But in fact, that really the hand puppet show bring to Taiwan is about 200 years ago.
Okay.
And historian, hand puppet historian like Chu Kun-liang, and also the Jiang Wuchang, and they confirm. I should say they argue that it's bring in 200 during the 1900 to 1950.
Okay.
And the middle of the Qing Dynasty.
Okay.
And Chinese immigrant, at the influx of Chinese immigrant to Taiwan, and they bring along this puppet show to Taiwan.
Okay.
Because this is the primary entertainment for this group of people, and that is particular 2 places in South China, like the Fujian province.
Yes.
2 places most important. One is Quanzhou. One is Zhangzhou.
Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
And the Quanzhou puppet is a little bit small, about 1 foot.
Okay.
Zhangzhou puppet is a little bit taller, about
bigger.
2 inches taller.
Okay. Yeah. Why did you think that, Dr. Yu, the traditional form of Taiwanese art has become so popular? Over the years, through different generations, there's always a high level of interest about Taiwanese hand puppet shows.
I think the puppet, if you look into it, they're very much involved. I would say that the hand puppet show is a element and the multicultural features.
Yes.
So like you have involved handcraft, not only stage or handcraft.
All right.
You know, stage very elaborate handcraft with gold leaf, very beautiful.
Of course.
But then the face is a handcraft. So involve handcraft and also literature.
Okay.
Because when they perform, the one man talk about whole, like a storytelling, and they had to know the literature and even the poetry. You know, each puppet, when they stage appear, and they speak about a very, very beautiful poetry, you know, poem, come with it. And then music.
Okay.
Music behind. They had the music perform and the stage in front.
Okay.
So, and also embroidery. You look at digital hand embroidery.
Yes.
The costume design and embroidery.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as I said, that story. And also puppeteers, the performance stand.
Yeah.
You know, they had to show the movement of the puppet. If no puppeteer moves the puppets, there's no show.
Of course.
So they move like old men, young men, or ladies. They all men alike. I mean, human alike.
Okay. All right.
So that is the skill involved.
Okay.
So all that together, and also particularly Taiwanese hand puppet show involved. They speak local language.
Yes.
Use the colloquial phrases.
Okay.
And the story based upon their history novel, history book.
Okay.
And also the series book.
Okay.
And that had their experience, you know, life experience to it. So they hand puppet show can touch the feeling of the local people, and that's a very important part of Taiwanese hand puppet show that can be, you know, sustained for that long history.
All right. And Doctor, you said at the beginning, a lot of the hand puppet shows are performed in front of temples on festive occasions. And what are some of the major themes in many of the hand puppet shows?
Okay, the most important show, when they perform in front of the temple, the important is a tribute to the god inside the temple. Okay. What they do is that they have banxian. You know, banxian means that they have the star god. You know, 3 star god. You know 3 star gods? No. God of wealth, God of happiness, and the God of longevity. Yes. Okay. That we call 3 star god. In Mandarin, it would be Sanxian. Yeah. And then that star god each present a gift, tribute to the god. Okay. And that whole series of performers, and then also have the God of wealth, and they show, you know, and show at the middle. And then at the end, the happy family get together as a 2 fair lady with the young man who able to pass the exam to the government and had the handwriting 状元. This very important story to perform in the show. The first one, but which, as I was a child, I don't like to watch that because almost every show they have that. But it's important. Okay, but then later on they perform at the early days, you know, mostly including the drama or the play based upon historical books, like The Tale of 3 Nations. Okay. And then something like The Journey to the West. All right. And also that the historical novel. And then later on has based upon swordsman type of thing, you know, kung fu type of series. And this always show the high, show, you know, try to pitch the people the high morality. Okay. And also the loyalty and respect to the elder people. And this kind of story always perform in front of the temple. Okay, all right. And finally, you arrange sometimes in the United States to have the performance. Where are some of the places for Taiwanese hand puppet performances in the U.S.? Well, most of the time, I do exhibition in the library.
In the library?
Yeah.
What cities? What areas?
In local area, I even have
cities
different
like
counties.
Los Angeles?
Los Angeles, yes.
Okay, and where else?
In the southern Oakland, I even drive 2 hours away and to do the
mostly
exhibition.
Southern California.
Right,
Is that what
mostly
you say?
Southern California.
Okay, good. All right, we're going to need to take a break on the program, Dr. Yu, and we'll be right back and continue this conversation about Taiwanese hand puppets in the U.S. I'll see you in a minute. Welcome back to our program here on the Taiwan Outlook. I'm your host, Ray Guo. We will continue our conversation with Dr. Rex Yu, who is a well-known economist, but also at the same time a collector of Taiwanese hand puppets. Dr. Yu, what we're talking about, how different theater groups and individuals like yourself are making the Taiwanese hand puppets more international. And I remember back in February 2005, former U.S. President Bill Clinton came to Taiwan on his 5th trip. That the Xiaoxiyuan hand puppet theater group presented a show to welcome the former U.S. president, and they made a puppet that's a little bigger. The puppet for Mr. Clinton is a little bigger than usual. Who makes those things, and what was so special about that particular hand puppet?
Okay, the Xiaoxiyuan is one of the 4 major hand puppet group in Taiwan. Yeah, beyond that it has Taiwan Jian.
Yes.
And also Zhong Zhenbi, Xin Shengge, and also the Huang Haidai, Huang's family, of course. And Xiaoxiyuan, when they come, when the President Clinton come to visit Taiwan, and Xiaoxiyuan able to perform that to him, because I think the Clinton is a very artistic person too, and he will appreciate that. In order to show the more, to show make more visible. I think they try to make the hand puppet a little bit bigger, so that the visibility is become much better. Okay. And Xiaoxiyuan always used to play only 1 foot type of traditional hand puppets.
Okay.
But on that particular time, but Xiaoxiyuan do play Xingguang style. This is Xingguang style is a little bit bigger.
Okay.
Yeah, they have some show of that, and they make the hand puppet. They have a special person to create those hand puppet head and the clothes.
Okay.
Xiaoxiyuan is a very famous hand puppet perform group.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how come that particular hand puppet was bigger than normal size? What was the significance of it?
Yeah, it to see better. I think that's the only thing.
That was the only thing.
Yeah.
And how many, actually, companies or individuals actually make hand puppets in Taiwan now?
Right now, mostly hand puppet, PD is the major. 99% is made in Taiwan.
Okay.
But the traditional hand puppet now is made in China.
Oh, really?
In Quanzhou.
Quanzhou.
Yeah,
okay.
they do have some make in Taiwan, but when the importer actually it's cheaper to make from business person that.
Of course.
Yeah, and they do better. But I was told that when they ship, they start to ship to other type of economic activity, so become not available that well as before.
But let me ask you.
They also make in Taiwan.
Okay,
yeah.
But let me ask you, Dr. Yu, how much would something like this cost?
All depend on the cost of the custom, of course, the age. The older one, I think antique is very expensive.
But for me to make a brand new one,
new one, it depends on the moving part of the face.
Okay.
Okay, if have 4 on face, ear can move, eye can move, mouth can move, nose can move.
Okay.
That is more expensive because it becomes elaborate.
Okay, of course.
Okay, and also custom, the design. Okay. And the cap, you can cost about $100 a cap.
Oh, really?
But this is not that expensive. But
okay.
So it's all depend on that. And the traditional one, you can cost $300 to $500 US dollars easily.
Okay, what size?
With the about 1 foot or a little bit higher, this size. This is about 1 foot. That's 30 centimeter, right?
Okay, yeah. Yes. All right.
And the hand puppet, PD style.
Okay.
The tall one, as I say, 90 centimeter one, 3 feet high.
All right.
They right now in the market cost you could be $1,000 to $1,500 US dollars.
Oh, really?
A piece.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's quite a price differential.
Right, because the hand puppet, the putty hand puppet is collected by young people.
Yes.
Yeah. It's for age usually under 40, from 25 to 34.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Dr. Yu, what do you think about one of these days when the Taiwanese hand puppets become very popular, and then people are thinking of making a movie about Taiwanese hand puppets? Would you think that would be a way to make Taiwanese hand puppets more international and regenerate the interest among the younger generations?
I watched the first movie that the Funk family, the PD multimedia company, make in 2001.
Yes.
They released in that year, and I was fascinated with the production, and it's a very costly one.
Okay.
They talk not US dollar, the Taiwanese New Taiwan dollars. It cost us the $300 million. $300 million to make one. That's very costly.
Okay. Yes.
And it's very attractive. I like the action type of thing.
Okay.
The only thing I did like is too exaggerate about the killings. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And there's of course the exhibition hall of the Pili hand puppet show, which is at the Taoyuan International Airport, and which was newly opened. And what is your opinion about in Taiwan's hand puppet shows becoming a channel, a way to promote Taiwan's indigenous culture?
I wish that had been done earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I have visited if I remember correctly, in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
They distribute about 5 hand puppets.
From Taiwan?
From Taiwan,
okay.
All one. And they have a description about those hand puppets. I was fascinated at that time when I saw that. And at that time, we don't have in our own international airport. And I was thinking I should suggest to the government or the Taiwanese authority who in charge of promoting folk art or performing the arts to do exhibition in the airport.
Okay.
But you told me that they have one.
Yes.
I'm going to see it when I go in home to Los Angeles.
Okay. Yeah. All right. But you think there may be other ways that we can try to promote this form of traditional arts? What would be your suggestions?
I think the best way is to go through the social media. Right now, social media is very popular and reach to the young people, young population, like YouTube.
Okay.
Facebook, and those social media is most effective.
All right.
And I would suggest that in Taiwan, send the troupe, the performer troupe, worldwide.
Okay.
To show to the local, to the international audience, and also our Chinese. We call foreign, like me, myself,
And then you've been, back in Taiwan on this trip for a number of months. I mean, how long have you been back?
Or less than a month, about 2 weeks only.
2 weeks only.
Yeah.
And have you, during the past 2 weeks, been in touch with the local, hand puppet troops, or talk with some of the artists? And then what have you done in terms of facilitating exchanges?
I did. I visited the major supplier of the hand puppets.
Okay.
And also I went even far to the capital of hand puppet show.
Oh, okay.
The Huwei.
Okay.
Winning Huwei, to see the museum of hand puppet figures.
Oh.
And I enjoy talking to the people who interpret to the visitor. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see any member of the family. And when I visited that, it's a coffee shop, and the attendant over there told me that Huang Junxiong,
yes,
who had the very famous show in 1970.
Yes, of course.
The Suyan show. And he usually come to the coffee shop to drink coffee, and I didn't have lucky enough to meet him at that time.
In person.
But I'm intending to meet him maybe in a couple of days. I try to arrange that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, we need to take another final break on our program today, and when we come back, we will continue this conversation with Dr. Rex Yu, who is a well-known collector of Taiwanese hand puppets. I'll see you in just a few minutes. Welcome back to the final part of today's program here on the Taiwan Outlook. I'm your host, Ray Guo. We will continue this very interesting conversation with Dr. Rex Yu, who was trained as a resource economist but became well-known as a collector of Taiwanese hand puppets. Dr. Yu, what do you think, as a collector of hand puppets in Taiwan, what do you think about the future of the hand puppet shows and the culture behind Taiwanese hand puppets?
I personally believe that the puppet show art will continue to glorify.
Okay.
And because I met so many of the collectors, actually they are real collectors.
Okay.
That they focus on the particular theme characters.
Okay.
I'm a collector who for promotion of the show, not collector in terms of keeping as an investment.
All right.
And because there's two directions, I don't think that they are substitute for each other. One is a PD puppet show.
Okay.
That moved to TV direction and also even moving, and they try to make a 3D type of production.
Right.
And that direction will be, if they handle correctly, or if overcome the cultural and the language barrier of the international market, I guarantee to them that they will find a way to succeed in the international thing.
Okay.
And the traditional hand puppet, they now perform is a national like a theater,
right.
Like a
National Theater,
National Theater, and also have the small theater in Taipei City. I am going to watch that this Saturday.
Okay.
And they periodically they have the show and they do exhibition,
right.
And they have that kind of energy is still there. And still, a lot of people who are fond of this show and will promote it, and this will continue to grow.
Okay, and Dr. Yu, you currently live in the city of Los Angeles, and you must come across a lot of the younger generation overseas Taiwanese. And how do you think our government or maybe the private sector can do to try to help the overseas Taiwanese younger people to learn more about the traditional art like the Taiwanese hand puppets?
From my experience for all these years that I do the exhibition,
yes,
even the overseas Taiwanese and also foreigner, they are so fond of the puppets. When they see that, they're so attracted to them.
Of course.
All kind of, but not only traditional, but also I have showed them this side Huyen, and they're so attractive to them.
Okay.
I call it the non-verbal communication is there. So immediately look at it, they already feel it.
Okay.
So there are certain things that the Taiwan government can do, that is try to go to outside the country to show in other parts of the world this show.
Okay.
The more often they show it, and the more often they're able to receive that.
Okay.
And they will learn much better. From learning, they will become very interested in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are some of the difficulties that you see among the younger generation of overseas Taiwanese who may not, want to, be exposed to the culture, to the art behind the Taiwanese hand puppets? What could be some of the...
For overseas Taiwanese, there's no problem of cultural barrier.
Okay.
But foreigner, yes.
Okay.
But language barrier, the overseas Taiwanese have some language barrier. They didn't understand the slang of the hand puppet show they use. And the language they use. The beauty of the hand puppet show, Taiwanese hand puppet, is the language.
Of course.
And this part, if they miss this part, they lost a lot, So if we can overcome that, then we'll get this to become popular. That's why I say, go there to perform more often, and they will learn more.
Okay.
So it will help.
Yeah, but Dr. Yu, you have done a lot of things on your own to try to promote the Taiwanese hand puppet shows in the U.S.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you have done in the past? And how do you think these projects or programs that you have done in the past have proved to be successful?
Yes, I do believe what I done to exhibition display is, as I say just a few seconds ago, that when the foreigner or overseas Taiwanese see the puppet, they like to touch it, that they move it. And I always, when I do the show, I always prepare quite a few puppets that they play. So when their hand put inside the hand puppet, they make the puppet alive. And this is attraction that we can make for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how do you think that we can make the younger generation, even among the foreigners, becoming more interested, other than overcoming the language barrier, as you mentioned. But other than that, are there any story themes, for example, that can make it universal?
I personally believe the Journey to the West would be a good to make into a show.
西游记.
西游记. Yeah, that's very nice. And if other thing that if you Harry Potter's type of story, if you can convert that into our puppet, design a script or design a show, a play based upon that story, and use our puppets, then maybe a successful story.
Okay.
Yeah.
How would you think that in the future there's already a lot of cultural exchanges between the United States and Taiwan? How would you think that in the future the hand puppets made in Taiwan can play a role in that overall cultural exchanges between the U.S. and Taiwan?
I think it's a very, very nice. Like for instance, that the President Clinton come to Taiwan, we show them the hand puppet, and I do believe that they appreciate it. If I remember correctly, Li Tianlu seemed to visit Clinton in USA. If I remember correctly. But those things, the cultural exchange particularly is for, I would suggest that if the local in Taiwanese hand puppet group can organize the international hand puppet show, like a festival, and they bring all other type of hand puppet in together, and we share experience with each other, and that will help to enhance ours too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But Dr. Yu, you also said earlier that a lot of the hand puppets are now made in China, in Quanzhou.
Right.
And how would you think that in the future cross-strait relations and exchanges, then the hand puppets can play a role also in that process?
But as I say that, you know, the economic activity, some of the people who make hand puppet in previous years that began to shift to other type of economic activity.
Yes.
So that the supplier, the Taiwan merchant go there to buy those hand puppet parts, head, become very expensive. So they are looking for other source. Maybe they begin to think about locally, you know, because the competition, I mean, of different economic activity in China, the people were shift instead of making less money by carving, by making this clothes, you know, the customs, and they will do the you know, electronic or something, other type of modern manufacturing activity, make more money.
But do they have hand puppet shows in China?
Yes, but they're very, very different from Taiwan.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. You know, are there any room for bilateral exchanges?
I do believe so. Mr. Fang has performed that in Xiamen.
Okay. What was the reaction?
They like it very much.
Okay.
I think they enjoy a Taiwanese puppet show than theirs.
Of course. And then how often do you think that our troops can go over there and perform over there and let them know the state of the art in Taiwan?
I think it can be done, but the only thing that they can perform in those provinces or locations that understand Taiwanese language.
Okay, mostly in the province of Fujian.
Fujian, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And given the fact that, you know, Dr. Yu, that you were trained as an economist in resource economics, and you became well known as a collector of Taiwanese hand puppets, can you tell the people who are watching our programs today, you know, how can, you know, a person try to balance his passion, his interest in the hand puppets, as well as a professional commitment to something like resource economics? What's your secret?
I think that, as I say very early, that my major is economics, but besides that, you know, you can create a very nice hobby, like get into hand puppet type of art.
Okay.
And you will balance your life much better than you just concentrate on economics. Sometimes you feel boring, but when you touch the figures, puppet figures, you feel very alive.
Okay,
you know.
Good. It's certainly been, you know, very interesting learning all these, you know, stories behind Taiwanese hand puppets, and certainly thank you to being on the show today, and hope, you know, everything goes well in your professional and private lives, and looking forward to seeing you again on the program in the future.
Thank you very much to invite me here.
Okay, thank you. I want to thank you for watching our program today. I'll see you next time on MacroView Television. Thank you.